37% of 20 to 39-year-olds reported short sleep duration. This could be due to late-night distractions or an active mind. Being deprived of sleep can have an effect on your academic performance and can make you fall behind. So set a schedule and stick to it. You need sleep.
You're watching West Liberty University's Newsline 14.
Good afternoon and welcome to October's first live edition of Newsline 14. I'm Elena Lynch.
And I'm Davey McKinney. Let's see what's happening on the Hilltop and in national and local news.
This weekend will be full of music, beer, and shopping at the 46th Annual Ogilby Fest, presented by WVU Medicine, Wheeling Hospital, and Reynolds Memorial Hospital. This year's Fall Festival will start at Ogilby Park this Friday, October 6th, and will conclude on Sunday, October 8th. In addition to delicious food vendors and shopping, regional artisan work, some of the activities include the Ohio County Fair, the German Rathskeller, live music, the .5K Beer Dash, and the Ogilby Fest Parade. For more details on the schedule, visit www.ogilbay.com/OgilbyFest. And the Wheeling City Council proposed an ordinance on Tuesday that would restrict homelessness on public property. This would prevent homeless people from setting up in parks, under bridges, and even intersections. According to the Wheeling Police Department, violence and drug use is at an all-time high, which pushed the council to make a change. Many people went to the meeting to speak against the proposal, saying the ordinance would criminalize innocent people. Ryan Ewing spoke up and said that he was homeless a few years back and was addicted to drugs. He claimed that it took finding the community and getting people behind him in support in order to change his life. The council ultimately stood firm in the proposal and is meeting next on October 17th.
In Fernham in Terra, a haunted attraction has began their 2023 season. The haunted house will be every weekend in October and one weekend in November. The times to attend will vary depending on what date you attend. Infernum in Terra will also hold a family night on Wednesday, October 18th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. You are able to buy normal admission tickets as well as VIP tickets, which will cut wait times in half. You can buy tickets at hellonearthhaunt.com. It is recommended that those who attend should be over the age of 13.
I am the social media manager and photographer for the student-run digital newspaper, Trumpet, here at West Liberty. Me and the editor-in-chief, Marissa Lammy, publish stories. If you want to know more about Lammy, check out her story on the Trumpet's website. I wrote the 10th-day event story on why the Queens decided to run for homecoming. Looking into the future, we will see Jennifer Gutman with a soccer game article. Destiny Hannas is writing on campus ministry. Caitlin Reynolds is giving students a voice for quality bakery. And William Moore will write on the fencing club. Make sure to check out our social media pages on both the Facebook at the Trumpet at West Liberty University and Instagram at the Trumpet WLU. And don't forget to take a look at our very own website, thetrumpetwlu.org. This has been Haley Blakemore with your Trumpet Package update this week.
For this week's Trumpet Update, in local news, West Liberty men's soccer faced Salem at Bridgeport's the Bridge Sports Complex. This is the second time the West Liberty soccer team has squared off against Salem this season and should make for an action-packed game. The previous match against the Tigers ended in a tie scored of 1-1 with one goal from Mark Donanelli. The 3 saves from Colton Callan. Hopefully, West Liberty will make it a shutout as the team has shown to be able to play better at night games with a winning record of 5-2-2. This is the first season in many that Hilltoppers fan can expect a winning season from the men's soccer team. We hope to see you at the next game.
Oglebay Resort is planning a deer calling on November 6th to the 8th. In a press release, the resort said that they are holding the deer calling in order to stop the rapidly growing deer population. Park officials claim the deer population at the resort is 5 times the regional average per square mile. Oglebay has received backlash for the decision, with a group of citizens filing a lawsuit against the resort. The lawsuit claims that the deer at the park are public property and that hand feeding from guests have made the deer tame. The lawsuit also claims there is no scientific support from the West Virginia DRC. A hearing for the case has been scheduled for Friday the 13th. And are you looking for some spooky fun this fall season?
If so, during the whole month of October, a haunted Halloween farm is making its way to Wellsburg, West Virginia. Owner Eric Freeland of Eric Freeland Farm has turned his farm into a haunted farm for fun for all ages. This month-long event has many types of fall activities and will also provide produce, pumpkins, and treats upon purchase. Freeland wants to be known for more than just selling his farm fresh produce, so he decided this is a great way to engage into the community. The haunted farm is located at 2470 Windy Hill Road in Wellsburg, West Virginia. It is open every Saturday and Sunday from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m., and it's only $20 to get in. Stay with us. We will be right back after this short PSA.
National News coming up next here on Newsline 14. Sorry.
It's okay.
And there was no name.
Sources of stress are everywhere. Stress can make you feel trapped, but there are ways to manage it. Stress is inevitable, but you can learn how to deal with it, how to handle it, and how to respond to it well. Try to get enough sleep, exercise, eat well, get emotional support, breathe, and find ways to calm down.
You're watching Newsline 14.
Welcome back to Newsline 14.
Let's take a look at our national news. An elderly citizen from Chicago, Illinois is reaching new heights with her favorite hobby, skydiving. 104-year-old Dorothy Hoffner hopes to reset the Guinness World Record for the oldest skydiver. Hoffner began diving at age 100, and she states that age is just a number. The previous record was set in 2022 by Linnea Larson, who is 103 years old. Hoffner took a leap of faith this past Sunday as she completed a dive from a whopping 13,500 feet. The dive lasted 7 minutes in total. Hoffner was accompanied by a U.S. Parachute Association instructor for safety purposes. The skydiving resort, Skydive Chicago, will work to certify Hoffner's accomplishment with Guinness World Records.
While on a family camping trip in New York's Maru Lake State Park, 9-year-old Charlotte Sena went missing. She was last seen around 6:15 p.m. and around 6:45 p.m. Charlotte's mom reported her missing when her daughter's bike was found abandoned in the loop. After 2 days of searching, she was found. Investigators were able to find her because of a ransom note left by the suspect. Early Monday morning around 4:20 a.m., the police was watching the house. They saw someone drop something off in their mailbox around 2:30 p.m. that day. State police then pulls fingerprints off the note and matches them with a 46-year-old man named Craig Nelson Ross, who was in the database because of a DUI in 1999. Around 6:30 p.m., state and federal SWAT arrived at Ross's house and arrested him and was taken into custody. Charlotte was then found in a cabinet.
A church roof in northern Mexico collapsed during a Sunday mass, killing at least 5 people and injuring several others. Rescuers are digging through the rubble, searching for any survivors. The tumultuous state police said about 100 people were in the church at the time of the collapse. The roof appeared to be made of poured concrete, which fortunately left the possibility for air spaces for any survivors. Building collapses are common in Mexico during earthquakes, but the National Seismological Services did not report any seismic activity strong enough to cause such damage at the time of the collapse, nor was there any immediate indication of an explosion.
Chipotle is facing a lawsuit filed by a federal agency on behalf of former employee who said she was subject to religious harassment by her supervisor because she wore a hijab. The lawsuit was filed last Wednesday by the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission on behalf of Arij Safan. An assistant manager continued over several weeks pressuring her to remove her hijab. On one occasion, the assistant manager grabbed her hijab and yanked it, exposing some of the hair in the process. Safan reported the behavior to a supervisor, but they did not report it to a higher management. Once she put in her 2 weeks notice, they stopped scheduling her for shifts. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission is requesting a jury in Kansas City.
This morning around 10 a.m., 18-year-old Brian Dowling from Brooklyn, New York, is now facing murder charges for the fatal stabbing of a New York activist, Ryan Carson. The NYPD questioned Dowling and decided to charge him with murder and deadly possession of a weapon. Video surveillance on this past Monday around 4 a.m. showed Carson and his girlfriend sitting at a bus stop on Malcolm and Boulevard in Bedford, Brooklyn. The NYPD reported a man walking past them with no reaction or interaction. However, just moments later, as Carson and his girlfriend started walking from the bus stop, the man kicked over several street scooters and turned to confront Carson. As the situation escalated, the suspect pulled out a knife, swung, and stabbed Carson 3 times. The NYPD located and arrested Ryan Dowling as the suspect after the incident. Ryan Carson is being remembered for his local activism to combat the opioid epidemic. Our thoughts go out to Carson's community at this time. And moving overseas to Haiti, gangs now control about 75% of the capital city. As this is the main port for supplies for the majority of the country, most of the population is having trouble accessing clean water, food, and medicine. Gang members have been causing terrors as 200,000 people have been forced to flee from their homes. Many displacement centers have been created in schools, churches, theaters, and gyms. The Haitian Prime Minister Ariel Henry, who has led the country since 2021, has called for military assistance in hopes of regaining some control. This week, the UN Security Council has approved the deployment of multinational armed forces to help Haiti with their security crisis.
In Thailand, a mass shooting has occurred at one of its shopping malls located in Bangkok, the country's capital, on Tuesday. The suspect is a 14-year-old boy who had shot and killed 3 people, injuring 5 more. The suspect had surrendered himself after the shooting and was apprehended by the police that day. The motive behind the shooting is still unknown, but the police are pointing towards the child having personal issues. He has mental issues, and he is receiving treatment at Rajavate Hospital. Police chief stated during the joint press conference on Wednesday the investigation continues. Just this week, a neonatal nurse named Lucy Lebai was arrested and charged with the murder of 7 babies. She was also charged with the attempted murder of 6 other babies. Lucy had worked at a Northern England hospital for a year. During that year, she used various methods from injecting lines with air, using insulin as a poison, and forcing feeding babies milk to kill them. Lucy was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of release, which is the highest penalty England has given a person. The UK government is also currently running an investigation on the hospital to see how much heinous acts were not caught sooner.
And the former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, has been ousted from his position. The House of Representatives voted this past Tuesday 216 to 210 to remove McCarthy as Speaker. While other speakers have traditionally stepped down from their position due to loss of support from their parties, McCarthy became the first speaker to be voted out in the middle of a congressional term. Since this has never happened before, there are many questions as to where this leaves our government. And most importantly right now, who will fill this newly vacant position? We will keep you updated as this story develops and new information comes forth.
Please stay tuned because after a short break, we will take a look at what's happening in the world of sports.
That's right, Davey. We'll be right back with some topper team and professional sports news next.
If you're a student at West Liberty University and ever run into computer troubles, take advantage of the school's IT help desk located in the basement of Main Hall, room B39. It's open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The IT help desk offers assistance and access to many services, like helping students get and download their Microsoft Suite package that they are entitled to. They also help with a variety of computer-related problems involving hardware and software. They can fix broken parts, install a new part provided you pay for it, software and application troubleshooting, and so much more. No appointment is necessary. You can just show up at the office if a person is there to help, or fill out a ticket online using the Go West Liberty page and explain the problem as well as set up an appointment if needed.
It is Halloween night, and you've just come home. Your bag is full of fresh candy. But be warned, lurking inside each piece of candy, there is hidden dangers. There could be a knife, or a cat, or a director's cut of Avatar on Blu-ray. There could be a skateboard, or a different knife. This Halloween, remember to check your candy before you eat it.
You're watching Newsline 14.
Welcome back to Newsline 14. I'm Davey McKinney with your sports update for this week. The 2023 Major League Baseball postseason is officially underway. The National League and American League wildcard rounds kicked off on Tuesday and were over on Wednesday. All four wildcard winners completed 2-0 sweeps over their opponents. In the American League, the Minnesota Twins defeated the Toronto Blue Jays. Designated hitter Royce Lewis led the charge in the Game 1, going 2 for 3 with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs. The Twins will face off against the Houston Astros in one of the 2 American League Division Series. The Texas Rangers shocked the series favorite Tampa Bay Rays, outscoring them in the 7-11-1 lack of Tampa Bay offense production, as well as key fielding errors by the Rays and explosive Game 2 performance from Texas helped them advance to the American League Division Series against the Baltimore Orioles. Over in the National League, the Arizona Diamondbacks shocked the series favorite Milwaukee Brewers in back-to-back come-from-behind victories. They will go on to face the Los Angeles Dodgers, and finally, the Philadelphia Phillies will fight for a spot in the National League Championship Series against the Atlanta Braves. After sweeping the Miami Marlins and outscoring them in the series 11-2, all 4 divisional series will be underway Saturday, October 7th, starting with Texas and Baltimore at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. The Steelers suffered another loss to the season and a loss to their starting quarterback, Kenny Pickett. Mike Tomlin said on the post-game interview Sunday that the Texans showed up to play physically and mentally, whereas the Steelers did not. Tomlin also stated that there will be changes made immediately for his team, such as practicing in pads and changing some areas in the depth chart. One of the changes to the depth chart is making Calvin Austin a top wide receiver. Another change to the chart is having 4 new starters to the defense, 2 defensive tackles, and 2 slot corners. So the Steelers community should see defense tackles DeMarvin Leal and Keanu Baton, and the 2 slot corners Shandon Savalan and Desmond King starting at those positions. He also spoke on how Pickett bruised some bones in his knee late in the game and limited to practice. If Pickett is unable to practice, Mitch Trubisky will be named starter for the upcoming game this Sunday against the Ravens. Trubisky is coming off of a 2022 season where he lost the starting quarterback spot to Pickett, so he has a lot to prove if Pickett is unable to play Sunday. West Liberty's football team finally captured their first win this season. Last Saturday, the Hilltoppers traveled to Athens, West Virginia, to take on Concord Mountain Lions. The Hilltoppers jumped out to an early lead and did not trail until 1:57 left in the game. Following a 33-yard touchdown run that gave Concord their first lead, the Hilltoppers drove down the field and capped the drive off with a 10-yard game-winning touchdown pass from Rudy Garcia to Rashawn Harvey. Garcia finished 30 for 47 with 316 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns. He also rushed 10 times for 18 yards, and Harvey had 6 receptions for 109 yards and a touchdown. Cam Rice led with defense with 7 tackles. West Liberty welcomes Glenville State this Saturday for the Hall of Fame game. Kickoff is set for 1 p.m. In baseball news, for the first time in a long time, the Minnesota Twins are back in the news. The Twins have experienced their first time back in the limelight since the team got publicized for allegedly cheating by using juiced baseballs. This time the press seems to be only saying good things about the baseball team as they find themselves fighting for a wild card spot with a record of 1-0 in the AL Wild Card Series. This in itself doesn't seem like a big deal until you consider the fact that this is the first playoff win since 2004 for the Twins. The 3-1 victory also broke a season losing streak in 19 games in a row, which is a new MLB record. It will be interesting to see how the Twins move forward in time to stay tuned to the new channels and grab your peanuts and Cracker Jacks, because this season looks to be a good one. The Maroon Knights of Wheeling Central High School competed this weekend in the West Virginia Men's Class A State Golf Tournament. Currently leading after Tuesday's round, the Maroon Knights led wire-to-wire, finishing with a 2-day score of 504 Wednesday at Robert Twent Jones Golf Course. Although Wheeling Central has played the Jones course all season, head coach Jim Mortakis said his kids still have to go out and play, and that's exactly what they did. As junior Ashton Clover carded an 80 Wednesday, placing him 10th overall with a final score of 169, and senior Luke Tua tying for 5th with a total score of 163. Wheeling Central was officially named Class A state champions that afternoon, and after winning the state team title last season, this now gives the Maroon Knights their 6th men's state golf crown overall. In college news, there are some rivalries playing out here in Week 6 of college football, specifically in Texas. The Oklahoma Sooners and the Texas Longhorns are both undefeated and ranked in the top 12 this season. According to ESPN's playoff predictor, the Sooners and the Longhorns have the 2nd and 3rd highest percentage chance to reach the college playoffs, respectively. The Cleveland Browns fall to 2-2 after a disappointing loss to the Baltimore Ravens this past Sunday. The Browns have seemed lost on the offensive side of the ball since losing star running back Nick Chubb. Unfortunately, starting quarterback Deshaun Watson was also unavailable for Sunday's game against the Ravens after suffering a shoulder injury against the Titans. The Browns have a bye week this upcoming Sunday, and this will be crucial for the team to get healthy and regroup. The Browns will take on the San Francisco 49ers the week following their bye week.
Thank you, Davey, for that sports update. We're going to head into a short break and be right back with the weather here on Newsline 14.
Be a fun and delicious activity, a lot can go wrong if you're not careful. Here are a few tips to make sure your meal prep is pain-free. Keep raw meat and raw vegetables on separate surfaces to reduce chances of cross-contamination. Make sure your burner is clean so it does not cause any problems when it is ignited. Cook meat until it appears done on each side, and take the internal temperature to make sure it is done all the way. Before cutting vegetables, make sure your cutting board is completely secured. When cutting vegetables, be very careful so you do not cut your own hand. Keep a firm grip on the knife and your veggies, and keep your left hand in a position out of the way of the knife. Make sure to keep an eye on everything you are cooking, especially things on high heat or meals that involve butter or oil so they don't burn. Cook your meat thoroughly before adding it to other ingredients. Wash your hands often throughout and clean up by washing your dishes when you're finished. Make sure to use these tips every time you cook to ensure your meal goes smoothly. This message was brought to you by WLU-TV.
You're watching Newsline 14.
Welcome back, and I am here with your campus weather. Today on the hilltop, we have mostly sunny skies with a high of 81 and a low of 61. It's currently 74 and the wind speeds are 9 miles an hour. Let's take a look at the weather around the U.S. In Los Angeles, we are seeing sunny skies with weather at 77, and down in Houston, we are sitting at 72 degrees with some rain showers. Kansas City is at 71 degrees, and meanwhile in Miami, we are at a nice and hot 85. Up in New York, we are sitting at 74 degrees, and we are at the same temperature, 74, here in the Ohio Valley. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with our 5-day forecast coming up next.
About school or work, not wanting to adult today, then pet a cat. Petting a cat is proven to reduce stress, calm the nerves, and allow you to relax, even in the face of ultimate peril. In addition to petting your cat will also provide you adorable entertainment for your pleasure. They are cute, they are cuddly, sometimes bite, and please, own a cat.
You're watching Newsline 14.
Welcome back, and now let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. Today we have sunny skies with a high of 81 and a low of 61. Tomorrow expect rain showers with a high of 72 and a low of 46. The weekend will be cool as Saturday predicts cloudy skies with a high of 53 and a low of 41. Much of the same will be on Sunday with cloudy skies with a high of 52 and a low of 41 again. On Monday we'll see a high of 53 and a low of 40 with cloudy skies once again.
Thank you, Elena, for the weather, but it looks like we're just out of time.
That's right, Davey, and as the show comes to an end, that means it is time for our National Day segment.
Yeah, my favorite part of the show, honestly, this week is a good one because today, October 5th, is National Do Something Nice Day.
And it could be for anyone, a friend, a family member, a classmate, or maybe even a stranger.
And no matter how big or small the gesture is, we encourage you to go out there and take advantage of today and do good deed for someone else.
I'm already thinking of ideas, but unfortunately, it looks like we are out of time for this week. Thank you for tuning in to Newsline 14. I'm Elena Lynch.
And I'm Davey McKinney. We'll see you back here next week. Have a great weekend.